Hello and welcome to Positively Sparta. I'm your host, Nikki Morville. I am coming to you from the Sparta Police Department in front of their brand new cars. As you can see, they are really, really nice. Okay, folks, we have a lot on the show today. Our first story is our recent summer concert series held at Dykstra Park. Here's more.
This is a summer concert series we do here in Sparta, 8 or 10 shows each summer on Friday nights. We try to deliver to the public original artists doing original music, bring local bands in for the openers, and we book both regional acts and national acts from around the country. Mix of folk and blues and jazz and singer-songwriters, all kinds of music.
And how long have this been going on, and what made you guys decided to do this in the first place?
The series started probably over 30 years ago. It used to be more local bands, and about 14, 15 years ago, a gentleman by the name of Carl Latham, jazz drummer who I was friends with, he took over the committee, and we started to bring in more serious original artists, Grammy award-winning jazz artists back in those days and whatever. So we mixed the music up. I'm a DJ on a radio station in Centenary College, so I have access to a lot of other bands, original bands. So we pieced it together and turned the thing around and got a really good reaction to it. And subsequently, it's now 14, 15 years later, and the program's going strong. So we're having fun with it.
It's an outdoor event, Dykstra Park in Sparta. This is, I think, our 5th year doing this, and it's always a blast. It's a lot of people come out. It's free, and the weather's awesome, and it's just a really good time. So.
And tell me about what do you do for the band?
Me personally, just I hit things, just drums, background vocals, and that's really about it. And I mean, we have three of us have a brotherhood. Me, Niles, the bass player, and Peter Karp. We've been together as a band for 14 years now.
What made you decide to become a drummer?
My father, who's also sitting in tonight, who was the original drummer for Twisted Sister, and I was about 2, and they gave me sticks and never looked back, really. So it's been a blessing for sure. So.
This is the Sparta Arts Summer Series, music series. I've played here, I think my 5th year in a row, but I've played over the years many times. I started years ago. I grew up in Leonia, New Jersey, and also a little bit in Alabama. So I'm pretty well known up in these parts. I moved to Nashville about 12 years ago, and now I play all over the world. I've been playing all over the world. So coming back here to Sparta and coming back to New Jersey, northern Jersey, is a big treat for me because I get to see all my old fans and friends. And there's nothing like New Jersey on a summer, late August evening.
And if you can talk about how did you get started with your band and from the origins, pretty much.
Okay. Well, I mean, this band that I have tonight is my band that's been with me for almost 10 or 15 years. The way I really started when I was a lot younger is I was just a singer-songwriter guy playing in a bar, and then I just met musicians. And because when you write songs, when you're a singer-songwriter and you write songs, musicians tend to gravitate toward you because they want to play original music. So over the years, I played in Bergen County, and I got a reputation, and then that spread out to here, and then that spread out to Pennsylvania, and it spread south, and eventually I got a record deal, and I played all over the United States and Canada, and then I flew to Europe, and I play all over Europe. And so it's like I'm like Johnny Appleseed, I throw my seeds out there, and it sprouts fans and friends,
I'm the bass player, and I've been with Mr. Karp for almost 15 years, and I still like him. And this event we do this as an annual, and I think we've been doing it for 10 years. And it's a treat to be here in Sparta, and usually we have good weather like we have tonight. And he's over there. He's been in Europe for most of the summer, and this is the first I've seen him, and it's going to be fun to play with him again.
And what made you decide joining this band?
We did a concert at Centenary College in Hackettstown I think it was 2003. And he was on the bill, and I had no idea who he was. And we were standing backstage, and I was aware of him. and he was incredible, and I was a fan right from that moment. And then later on, he was doing a tour with Mick Taylor from the Rolling Stones and asked me to be Mick's guitar tech. And that was fun, to say the least. And shortly after that, the bass player left his band, and he called me up and said, gave me a cockamamie story. He didn't say he was auditioning me. And we played the gig, and at the end of the gig, I got the job. And there was no pressure.
Next up, folks, we have the sports segment. First up, we have a big win with the Sparta football team over Randolph.
We head to Randolph High School, and Sparta gets the 2017 season off on the right foot. Watch Thomas Agudo zip in from 4 yards out, and Sparta has a 7-0 lead over the Rams. Randolph then mounts a drive, and its quarterback Justin Suarez feeling the pressure, and he takes off for a Randolph first down deep in Sparta territory to the 15. Then it's Matthew Kuntz on the inside give as he knifes his way through the Sparta defense, breaks a tackle, and he scores from 15 yards out, and we are tied at 7. Sparta's on the move again, and on third down, watch quarterback Anthony Broccoletti buy some time, extend the play, and he finds the big guy Thomas Ferrara, who bulls his way down to the 1-yard line. Nice effort on both ends there. And then it's Thomas Agudo with his second touchdown of the game, this time from a yard out, and Sparta retakes the lead 14-7 over the Rams, and that is our score after 1 quarter. Second quarter we go. Randolph is in Sparta territory facing a 4th and 5, but watch Chris Vactris put on the pressure, and it's Ollie Sears finishing it off for the sack, and Randolph turns the ball over on downs. Now watch Sparta quarterback Anthony Broccoletti zip it to Jake Zarillo with a nice 37-yard pickup and a first down to the Randolph 25 as Justin Moreno saves a possible touchdown for Randolph. Sparta will cap the drive here as Broccoletti hits Will Cisco on the quick slant with a 9-yard touchdown, and Sparta's up by 14, 21-7. Sparta gets the ball back and goes for a little trickery, but Jacob Flowers is there for the interception off the double pass as he brings it back to near midfield for the Rams to keep it a 21-7 game. But Sparta gets the ball back on a pick of his own. It's Jake Zarillo going up and getting it as he makes the nice return to the 40-yard line. And Sparta cashes in here. Watch Anthony Broccoletti hit Eric Castorina for the 16-yard scoring strike, and Sparta has a 28-7 lead at the half. Big momentum shift right there. Okay, third quarter we go, and Sparta strikes again. It's Anthony Broccoletti to Will Cisco again for the 22-yard touchdown, and Sparta's pulling away with a 35-7 lead. Sparta's defense was great all night. Watch Sparta put the pressure on before Robbie Gannott gets the sack for the Spartans. And the Spartans make it 45-7 here as Thomas Agudo busts up the middle for the 32-yard touchdown, as Sparta would eventually roll on to a 52-7 victory here at opening night at Randolph High School as Randolph falls to 1-1.
I'm very proud of the guys, coming out there and playing against a team that was 1-0, going out there and getting their first win. I thought we executed the game plan pretty well. Getting our skill guys the ball. Our offensive line, I thought played very well, opened up some big holes for Thomas to run down. So, and then after that, if you talk about our defense, we came up there and gave up 7 early, but then blanked them for the rest of the game. So proud of that.
We've been preparing this game all summer, and finally got out to show people what we could do. And people doubted us a little bit, because we lost so many seniors, lost so many points, so many touchdowns. But we filled the shoes and did a good job.
We've been preparing for it all summer. Our coaches prepared us great. We had a great game plan going into it. We really just want to come out here and show everyone what the 2017 Spartans has, because previous Spartans have been talked about a lot, and people are doubting us this year, but I think that we erased all doubt tonight.
So how did the offensive line help with the game tonight?
They did absolutely amazing. There was massive holes to run through, no complaints whatsoever. They worked hard all summer, and I should be congratulating them later.
I arrived here in December, and upon my arrival, we had already established a committee to investigate the possibility of getting a synthetic, turf field multi-purpose, multi-sport field somewhere on campus. So we're still investigating that. We're looking at two possible locations. One would be right now where we play many sports on Castles, and the other would be behind the high school, so to speak, adjacent to the area where the tennis courts are. And either way, it would be a multi-purpose for physical education classes and, of course, multi-sport.
Now, is there a time frame? I know that there was a committee that's been here, like you said, before you got here. What kind of time frame you're looking at if this is going to happen?
Ideally, we would like it to be completed for fall sports in 2018. Certain things would have to fall into place in terms of permits, in terms of the process for the board to formally approve it. But that's the ideal next fall season.
And how would you come up with the funds for this?
We would utilize capital funding.
And so I know a couple of years ago there was a referendum, but you guys have found a way within the budget to build this turf. Just explain to people that, because everyone wants to know where the money's coming from.
So there's two potential areas other than a referendum that you can draw from in addition to a normal operating budget. One is capital reserve and the other is maintenance reserve. And so over the course of the past several years, the board has been able to put some monies into both of those areas in capital reserve and maintenance reserve. And with this project being a capital project, we would draw from it.
And just talk about just it adds to the enhancement. I know this is part of the strategic long-term plan that the district has come up with. Talk about how exciting this is, that it's now not just a thought, it's almost going to be becoming a reality.
It's extremely exciting. And on top of it, importantly, there will be lights. And so while we think about, Friday night lights and, having a soccer game during the week and so on, like this week is our week of lights, really what it represents is practice time and the ability to get out there through, maybe 8, 9 o'clock at night and have everybody have an opportunity to utilize it. And it's pretty much weather resistant. If it's not lightning and it's not a total downpour, you basically can be out there. And so having the lights and having the turf, in addition to what it offers us on a daily basis for our physical education curriculum, it is something that I'm personally very excited about, and I think it's going to be great for our community.
And also just for athletics, Sparta tradition, second to none, and now you're going to have the facilities that are going to match the history here.
Absolutely. Our students deserve that. We're doing a lot in addition to pursuit of a turf field. We doubled our footprint in our robotics room. We're going to be doing a lot of things with technology and STEM education, so this is just an extension of all that.
Now, I know that you said you hope for next fall. Is there any kind of a drop-dead deadline within the next few months to get those final approvals for that to happen? What kind of time frame you're looking at that for final board approval and for all the permits?
We're looking at that to be concluded sometime this winter. And so if that takes place, then we would finalize the bid specs. The bids need to be out for a certain period of time. And once the responses come back, hopefully we'll have a bidder that we can utilize that fits within our budget.
And is there a budget number that you guys are looking at? Obviously, you have to have a budget number, but I'm sure there's a range of numbers that you could use, maybe not do as much or do a little bit less. What's the kind of the budget you guys are looking at?
For the preliminary installation of the turf and lights, we're looking at about $2.8 million at the upper end of the initial installation. The cost does change depending on whether it's at Castles or whether it's in the back of the high school, so that will be determined. But projections from our architect was about 2.8, 2.9.
And if people want to keep up to date on this, I guess attend the board meetings, will you guys be sending out information to the people of Sparta?
Absolutely. Coming to a board meeting is always the best way to keep most up to date on the goings on in the district, and also through following us on our website or what we post on Twitter.
Brian, it's your annual basketball camp. Just tell everyone about this camp.
Well, we're excited. This is our, I believe, 5th or 6th year that we're with our camp, and we love having the kids in the gym. Summer's a great time to make sure that they're getting better. So we like to combine not only a lot of skill work, we give them a lot of drills that they can take home and that they can actually use to get better on their own in the driveway, in the basement, down at the gym, wherever they may be. But we also make sure they're having a lot of fun as well. You know, we try to preach just basketball in general as an overall kind of yearly philosophy that you better be having fun, because if you're not having fun, you're not going to do it, you're not going to work hard, but you better be working hard to counter that. So if we can combine the fun aspect of it and take those drills and put them into some fun, applicable competitions, then, you know, we can make some headway and you can really get better as a basketball player.
Take us through a typical day here at camp.
Well, we usually do a morning stretch, especially after the day before. They're usually coming in, even these young kids are coming in a little bit tight, a little bit sore. I'm thinking to myself, you have no idea what a little bit tight and a little bit sore is. But we get them in, get a stretch, we get a good warm-up. We do a lot of ball handling drills early on in the day. We do a lot of different stations, whether it's shooting. We've actually got some right now. We've got some boxing out stations, some shooting, some dribbling, some defense as well. So we really teach all aspects of the game. We'll do some competitions late morning. We'll play a few games. We'll do some lunch, and the favorite part of lunch for the guys is the trivia questions that we ask them. So we'll throw in some trivia from the high school kids that work our camp all the way up through NBA and Hall of Fame type stuff, so they seem to enjoy that. And then we'll bring them back in right after lunch, and we'll do some more skill work that will add into some competitions. And then we finish up usually with games and maybe a final drill or two. So like I said, we really try to combine all aspects of the game throughout the day. We don't have the kids sitting around basically at all. You know, we don't like to have them sitting there. We like them up, moving, having a good time, and learning the entire day.
Now, you mentioned you got some high school kids here that play. Probably at this point, some of these guys might have went to this camp when they were kids.
Yes.
So just talk about how important that is that these kids are coming back.
Yeah, without a doubt. All four, actually 5 counselors we've got this week, all were at the BT basketball summer camp in years past, and now they're all high school varsity players. We got Pope John, we got High Point, we got Sparta. So it's fun for them to be on the other side of the table and to be, you know, helping these kids now with the stuff that they've learned and are still learning. And it's fun for me because I get to see them when they're younger and kind of rise up and be on this side, and now they're on the teaching side. And it's fun just to kind of be a part of the process, to watch these kids mature into young men and start to pass their knowledge on as well. So it's very exciting from, you know, 4th, 5th grade all the way up through college.
Now, I've known you a while, Brian. You like to think out of the box when it comes to basketball training. What are some of the things that happen here at the BT camp? They're not at your typical camp.
Well, you know, we do a lot of different competitions that you wouldn't normally see. You know, we don't just do standard, okay, you know, run to the end line and back or make a layup and back. We combine different innovative dribbling drills. It could be 1 basketball, it could be 2 basketball drills. And we do a lot of stuff on the fly. So it's not just one skill that we're working on. We're typically working on 2 to 3, maybe 4 skills in the same drill or in the same competition, because we try to make it real life applicable. In a basketball game, you're not just dribbling the ball, you're not just shooting the ball, you're doing all of these things often at the same time. So we try to give them a lot to take in, that way they can train their brain, so when a game comes, they're already used to that, and it's not, you know, panic time.
Obviously, you have this camp, you have your girls' camp coming up, but obviously BT basketball is not just 2 weeks of the year. Right. What else do you have to offer?
Well, we've even got a summer league going on right now where we run this side of the PAL, and we go we got 4th and 5th graders all the way up through high school kids. So we'd have that June through July. And then come fall, we've got fall AAU once again. We've got a spring AAU program. Those are very intensive programs where we really help the kids get better over a number of months span. And then we do a lot of training throughout the year. Almost every day off the kids have from school, we're in here doing a clinic, whether it's a skill-specific clinic or just a general clinic overall. So really, I mean, we do different things all year round, but we do things all year round.
And if people want to get in contact with you, they want to get to one of your next camp or clinic, how do they do that?
Yeah, you can go to BrianThomasBasketball.com. Again, that's BrianThomasBasketball.com. Very simple. There's not only dates on there for our new upcoming events, but there's also informational social media posts and blogs, and we have a podcast that's up. So there's a lot of free information that we like to give away to try to help the kids of the community to really get better, whether it's videos or written word. Or even audio. So there's a lot of things on BrianThomasBasketball.com that you can check out that'll help you to get better.
All right.
Next up, we have the Milk Bowl recently at Ungerman Field, and we also caught up with the Sparta cheerleaders.
Sparta's been putting on this program for this event for the last 30-something years. You know, I played in it when I was a kid, and it's about supporting families outside in need. Today we'll be supporting a young cheerleader in Rockaway. We'll be making a donation to her. We're also supporting a young kid in Wallkill Valley. We'll be making a donation to him, and a family here in Sparta that's going through some hard times. So that's what this event has been about for decades, and we're just trying to keep the tradition going.
And how did this event pretty much start?
Today's event, Ross Richardson, who's our head coach of all coaches in the program, spent hours and hours reaching out to all these towns and families to come out here today and doing the scheduling and stuff. It's a lot of work.
And would you say you're the event coordinator here?
I'm the president of Sparta Youth Football. My whole board really helped out. We have 21 people on the board, and it was a group effort. Coming down here last night, setting up all the fields, and so far I think it's going great.
Next up, folks, we have our police beat right here at the Sparta Police Station. There's so many things you touch upon with this LEAD program, and I think the sooner you get in there to do this with your schools, the better, the smarter, especially with cyberbullying, such a big issue, especially some of the tragedies that have happened in our surrounding area, and now putting a stop to that now, and teaching these kids. I think that it's great that the officers get taught on what they need to do. To then teach these kids. It's important.
It is. It's extremely important. And again, it's something that was done years ago through Corporal Sue Parks, through Jesperson with the DARE program, and we were fortunate to have her. And she did a phenomenal job back in the day, and that's all we want to do is we want to strengthen our relationships with the schools, become a part of them, get into the schools, whether it's for security purposes or educational purposes. It's twofold and equally as important.
Absolutely, and I think that leads us into our next topic. So many times, the stigma of the police can be scary, and a big thing with you, Neil, and your police squad here is to get that stigma away. And you guys are not the bad guys. You're the good guys. So talk about this next program that you have and the different facets of that.
Okay. Thank you, Nikki. Yeah. We're very excited to form a relationship with something called the Code 9 Project. So again, it's a twofold commitment here. So Code 9 is a recognition of what law enforcement and first responders experience throughout their career in regards to PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And it affects almost every first responder out there. It does not matter the size of the agency, the department. I've got friends, in major large cities, NYPD, some of the larger agencies in the state of New Jersey, Jersey City, Newark, and many friends in the smaller ones too. So unfortunately, first responders throughout their career, they're apt to see some pretty horrific things. So it brings recognition to that, number one, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Number two, it forms, again, part of the Code 9 Project is forming a relationship better with our youth in the community and stronger ties. Unfortunately, throughout my career, and I've spoken to many officers about this, when we bump into parents sometimes with their children, sometimes we'll get the saying like, you better be careful, or that officer's going to lock you up or put you in jail. And yeah, exactly. And everybody knows how impressionable kids can be and how they can take that and stuff. And I know it's bothered me a little bit over the years, and some other officers, because we don't want that type of relationship. We want to be able to if have a kid come up to us if there's something going on and feel comfortable about approaching us. So I joke about it, myself. I mean, that's my job with my daughter. If she gets out of line, and more so when she doesn't listen to me, my enforcer is the wife, Lisa, and she'll take care of business. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, for us, we want these kids and children to be able to approach us with whatever happens. Yeah, so we're going to be running an event, fortunately, at TCBY on Friday, September 29th. It is from 6 to 9 p.m. And again, one of our business owners stepping up, Cynthia Ruff from TCBY, is going to be handing out free yogurt that evening, and we're inviting the community down with their children to be handing out some teddy bears and some shirts in regards to something called Hugs Not Harm. That's part of this Code 9 project. And again, it's just a commitment from us to the children that we're here to help you. It's a commitment from the kids that they're to be kind to their neighbors, kind to their parents and their officers and things like that. So we're looking forward to that as well. So that's...
I love it. I love it. This is such a great message. And I think there's so many parts of this I love, but the fact, one, that you as the chief want to get the message out to kids that you guys are the safe haven. You guys are the safe place to come talk to the police. Don't be scared of the police. This is such a good thing in the way of the world right now to teach our kids young that you guys are out to help and protect, not hurt, harm, and throw in jail. It's yes, you guys want to get the bad guys, but it's about helping those out there. That's what police force is all about. So such a good way to do it, especially with handing out teddy bears.
Yeah.
And I love the light color blue. It's very calming and sweet. Someone had to come up with that. So
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, it's been around. I know it's this program is throughout the entire country. Some large police departments are very much involved with it, including NYPD. So yeah, that's the first half of it, and the second half of it is in regards to what I discussed with the PTSD function. We'd like to educate the community. We're going to be showing the film. There's a Code 9 documentary in regards to what law enforcement experiences or potentially can experience throughout their career, and we're going to be showing that at the Sparta Library. I haven't nailed down a date as to yet when that's going to be, but when I do, I'll let you know. Certainly, I'll put it on our Facebook page and some other media outlets, and we'll get the word out there to come down and see that. And then I'll be down there for sure to take any questions. I've been working in conjunction with the retired Jersey City captain, Bob Cubby. He'll be there. He's in the film itself. He's seen some horrific things throughout his career, being an ESU in Jersey City and during 9/11, which, you know, the anniversary just passed. So that's what we'd like to do, as well as educate the community.
I commend you, and I commend the Sparta Police for encouraging the first responders, these police men and women, to talk about what they've seen, because this is what PTSD, right, is all about. Yep. It's about, it comes back, it bites you, and then you have to live with it. And I'm sure you've seen so many sad stories of people who never talked about it and then had to live with it. And I'm sure become depressed. I'm sure there's so many different ailments physically and emotionally that come through this. So the fact that you're supporting this, you're encouraging this, I can't say enough about it. Again, more what this world needs. And they're doing it right here in your town, folks. You're very lucky to have a police squad that's so compassionate and empathetic. Not two words that are often used, people think, with the police. And you guys are changing that stigma, and I think it's wonderful.
Thank you, Nikki. Yeah, you said the two words. That's what we discussed the last time you came out and interviewed me when I took over as chief here, and we're all working at this together, from my commanders right down to my sergeants and the officers. And then I got to say, since I've been chief, it's amazing the amount of commendations and kudos coming in from the public, from officers really handling calls appropriately, showing this compassion, understanding, that there's certain issues out there, and the days of old of locking everybody up and throwing away the key, as I talked about earlier, is over. We point people, if they need help, in the right direction, whether it's mental illness problems, we've been trained for that, or drug addiction problems. I mean, we still don't shy away, and we never will, from enforcing the law. I mean, that is our job. We protect, and we'll continue to do that. But the profession has evolved.
Okay, folks, that's it for this edition of Positively Sparta. If you have any questions, concerns, or stories, please contact us at mugsmedia.com. All right, folks, I am Nikki Morville. Hope you enjoyed the show. Good night.